What's up, everyone? Michael DeMond here with the latest episode of Starbeam.one Stand Up and Shine and Show, a series I put together to keep you up to date with my project Starbeam.one. And it's modeled after the agile methodology of a stand-up, where you tell your teammates what you've been working on, what you're going to be working on, and any sort of friction points that you are encountering. And what I've added is so much more. Let's begin. Okay, program notes. This is sort of where we have the latest notes of the program up top of the show. And last time I was wondering, am I going to do Alpha 3? I was feeling not so very confident about it, and I was going to do some rescheduling around it. And I decided to go ahead and do it, and just do it anyways, even though there's not really a lot in there. And I'm going to talk a little bit about that. But, shout out to Jay. You know who you are. We used to work together, and there was a time where I remember it was like a health emergency, or someone couldn't work, or a lot of people couldn't work. It was looking really impossible. And it was just one of those things where he said, the show must go on. And I kind of had that kind of ringing in the back of my head here, and the show must go on. We were originally doing Alpha 3 on April 4th, and now we're going to do Alpha 4 on June 6th, which is the next one. And so I really didn't get all that much done. And we're going to talk a little bit more about that next few slides, but we're hoping that Alpha 4 is the Alpha 3 that we deserve, sort of thing. So we'll move on here and get into some more details around that. Okay, dashboard. This is sort of the Shill part of the program where I talk about what's going on with the app. If there's any interesting things going on here, and you can get to the dashboard at any time just by clicking up in that hamburger menu here and scrolling down, clicking on dashboard, and that will take you to this screen. You don't even have to be logged in. It is completely available to anonymous connections, and we get a lot of people that are out there lurking on this page, so you can join them and see what's going on. We try to be very transparent here, how we're going, for better or for worse. And you can see we're over 150 users now, which is awesome. 60 artists and 76 collectors, which is great. And our 24-hour sales volume is a lot better than last time. The past two shows that I've done, we had really slow days the day before. We had like $1 on one and $2 on the next, and the next day we got a lot of pity sales. I was kind of wanting to have a low value this time around, but I'll take what I can get. Again, we're just being honest here. We're being, whatever's there is there, and that's the whole point of this dashboard. And I'm just going to show it no matter what we had for sales. But we're doing anywhere between $25. We'll go up to $100 some days, but about 10, 25 right now is kind of where we're at. And, sort of the point of the Alpha 3 and Alpha 4 is we want to have these key features in place before we start marketing and advertising. So we're sort of in a quiet period right now, and we're hopefully for another month or so, that's going to be the case. And you can see kind of moving on here, 24-hour volume, $25, not bad. And, 7-day volume, we're making sales, anywhere from $25, $50 a day. And we're getting close to 2,500, and it was just last week or so that we were at 2,000. So we're doing pretty good. We're not really marketing all that much, and we're closing in on 3,000 total sales and visitors. Last time I didn't make a big deal of this, but we had 7,000 visitors last time for the entire month, and it's kind of hanging around there. So we're not really marketing all that much just yet, but we're getting pretty good traffic here. So I'm pretty happy with that. Our user accounts, we're getting more than one per day right now, and that's pretty cool. We do have a few of those that are made by mistake, and that's what we're going to be trying to do here with the Alpha 4, is to improve on that and make sure that doesn't happen as much. And kind of just scrolling through here, licenses, we're approaching 4,000 total licenses issued, and that is a big deal. We're doing anywhere from 25 to 35, 40 licenses per day. And, DeviantArt, Reddit, and Twitter are our primary providers for that. And so, we are increasing our remaining value here was at 1,100, and this is also decreasing as well. It started out at 76, and then it went to 80, and now it's back down to 78. But that's still pretty good. We're doing a lot really well with our inventory. So this is how much inventory we have just sitting there unsold, and still waiting for a huge collector to hop on board here and just buy it all out, right? Because all of these licenses that are available right now are the first of the system, and they're under 4,000, as we just mentioned. And if we start producing a lot of these, the ones that are available now will be increasing in value, is kind of how that works. So moving on to the markets, just kind of scroll through here really quickly. We have, standard market continues to be the a dominant market with our sales and whatnot. And see, we got our, deposits and our sales again, doing pretty good on sales, and our resales are kicking up a bit. But I also just want to show, our withdrawals. We're getting up to 50, and we've done over $700 of payouts, $725 of payouts, which is awesome. Our network gratuities are increasing, of course, and we're getting anywhere from $3 to $5 a day, which is awesome right now. And $300, that is for us. That's what starbeam.one has earned. That's how we're going to pay the bills. So we're really what we're really looking for is about $1,000 to $2,000 of volume right now, and right now we're doing like $25, $50 a day of volume, but we're looking for 1,000 to 2,000 per day of volume. And you have places like Object, which does about 40 to 45,000 per day, and then you've got OpenSea, which is 13 million. So we have a ways to go before we get to there, but that's sort of what we're looking at. We're wanting to do about $1,000 to $2,000 a day, and that will pay our bills, and we'll actually be able to pay people. So that's sort of our goal right here. And kind of scrolling through here, we've hit that 0, and this is just, I keep saying this should be 0, but this is how this is the balance sheet, right? So we got our credits must equal our debits, because every credit must have a debit, and that's how you balance your accounting in your system, and that is 0, and that is good. So now we can move on to the next slide here. All right, so what did I do? We really didn't get a lot done with development, unfortunately, and most of the time was spent with fixing bugs. And so it wasn't developing new features, it was development towards fixing bugs, and there seemed to be a new thing that popped up every day. And it's been like that for the past month and a half. And I'm really hoping that, I wasn't able to get Alpha 3 done in the state that I wanted to get with the features and whatnot, but I'm hoping Alpha 4 now will be the Alpha 3 that we deserve. So that's kind of how I'm looking at that. And moving on here back to what I actually did do, I am starting to work on the user administration. So the administration application is what we use to administer the application for customer support and just general administration. And we're going to be improving that. And that was kind of the goal for Alpha 3, but is now the goal for Alpha 4. And now we have the ability to remove emails. And the reason why we're doing that is because we're wanting to merge user accounts, because people create unnecessary user accounts by accident and whatnot. We're really going to be working on towards that whole area to make that a lot simpler and to reduce the amount of errors that can occur, because it's very easy to sign in with like a Twitter, and then 2 months later, you have no idea what you signed in, and then you sign in with a Google, and now you have 2 accounts, and it's really frustrating, and we're really wanting to improve that. And so what we're wanting to do is merge accounts, but in order to merge accounts right now, the way that our emails work are kind of a stickler, for lack of a better term, because emails, once they are attached to an account, that is that. And so you can't right now move a email to another account really easily, but I'm going to be fixing that here. And so the first step is to remove it. So if we have a user account that just needs an email removed to attach to another account, we can just remove it, and then that another account working through support can get that email attached. So that's sort of what's going on there. And so that's actually in there now. We can remove user emails from accounts, and from there we improved the notifications list, and notifications look a lot better, and so you can mark them as read, and you don't have to click anymore, and that's all right there on one page. And then the rest is just bug fixes, as I mentioned. So we can move on to the next slider. What am I doing? Okay, so I'm just asking myself that all the time. What am I doing? This is the craziest thing I've ever done. So getting on with administration, you can see here with our tasks there, our story on the left side of the Excel spreadsheet. I've been doing Excel spreadsheet project management for 3 years and counting. It's working really well for me. And so now, there's this notion of dismantling a user account. So someone signs up with their Twitter, and then they accidentally sign in with their Google, and then they realize that they signed in with their Twitter. Well, what happens to that Google account? Well, we want to just basically dismantle it. Just strip it down from its email, any emails that were attached to it, the Google Authenticator and all that. And what that does is it frees up all the resources that are attached to that, and then it can be used to, assign to the existing account that they want to. So there's this dismantle, and then there's also merging the accounts after they've been created. And, one side, I'm thinking I should have just had this done so long ago, but another side is, you got to have this done before we start marketing, because, yesterday we had someone create an account, and they actually ended up creating 3 accounts because they kept signing in with their Twitter application on their phone, their iOS phone or their Droid phone application, not the web browser, because we use the web browser. So they kept signing in with their their droid, and they kept signing in with their, or they would set their identity in their droid or iOS app. And then when they would try to sign in with our app, which uses the web browser, it kept creating a new account. So it was just a huge mess. It was like half the day, right? And that's just not scalable. That's just not viable long term. So we're wanting to address that, get that all fixed. So having merged accounts. And then finally, I talked about this last episode. If we get around to doing this, it's going to be delete accounts. And so, all of this is actually taking us up into the first week of May, the second week of May. And that's going to leave 2 weeks for the June 6th deadline. So I'm feeling okay about that, but who knows, right? This past alpha took, it was 2 months, and it felt like 2 weeks sort of thing. So hopefully we can get to that with the scheduling that we have here. Friction points, and would you look at that? We have none. This is amazing, right? So there was a while where there was none, and then I started bragging about that, feeling really good about that, and then all of a sudden we had a whole bunch of issues from that, and that just seems how it goes. When you start bragging about things in life, you start getting the things that you're bragging about. It's sort of like a dare. It's to fate to bring on more, and that's what happened. But now these are gone, and the one major issue that has actually been tormenting me for almost 18 months now, I want to say a year and a half, it has now been fixed, and it is glorious. It is amazing. This is the one that was in Microsoft from last time, and my development environment, we're going to get into this when I talk about technology, is so amazing right now, and it is like a new environment. It's just really quick, very snappy, and not only it fixed the problem, which was a huge memory resource allocation issue, which it was at its core, but it also just freed up all the other problems that were fixed, and now I can see them plainly. And that goes for both Microsoft and JetBrains. They've been fixing all these issues, and now all of those are very clear to me now, and it's really great. It's really great. It's not just for me now. It's now I have the feeling that I can actually recommend this for someone else to onboard, because before there was just no way that I could honestly bring someone on and say, hey, would you like to try out my solution that basically hogs up 100% of your resources all the time? There's just no way that was going to happen. I had no good feeling about that, but now I do. Now I feel really great about that. And this leaves the only issue that it remains now is this resharper Blazor rendering. And honestly, with all these other problems that I was encountering, this is like a 1 or 2, maybe a 3, because I only have to face it when I install a new resharper. So it's not that bad. It's still there, and the reason why it's such a stickler is that it's been around for 2 years, and it would be nice to get that fixed. So, but kind of like counting my blessings here with the issues that I had been facing, this is not as bad. So I'm not too worried about it just yet. Okay, Kudos. I'm actually going to do this here, and starting with Lily Unicorn sent me an awesome rendering of these stickers. I don't know if you can see them. These are awesome. These are great renderings. Flares are currency, and we now have stickers here. I'm going to be applying these everywhere that I can. Wanted to send a shout out to June, who's sending me a notebook. I'm looking forward to that. Getting showered with gifts here. Very much appreciate that. And a shout out really quickly to Lee for all of your Twitter activity. It's just been awesome. Lee fell into the lap of Elon Musk, which was amazing. And of course, I got mentioned, or starbeam.one got mentioned in there as well. So thank you, Lee, for all of your activity. That was really cool. Was all of a sudden we're being mentioned in the mentions of Elon Musk, and that's all Lee's doing. So very much appreciated to that. But just wanted to send a shout out to everyone there, just for all of your help and all of your assistance. It's just been awesome, really, lately. So thanks again. Okay, getting into effectiveness levels here. I'm doing these to kind of like have, the feeling, the, efficiency, but there's also emotion to it. What do these different levels mean? It's just letting your teammates know how you feel about things. And my overall morale right now is kind of low because of all the friction that I'm encountering in everything towards getting into technology, right? There's all these different issues that keep popping up, and I'm just not feeling good at all about that. We're going to get that into the next slide here, which is a new one. Okay, so we've got a slide here, and I'm going to call this one schedule. How do I feel about the schedule? And I feel like garbage. I feel really ineffective right now with our schedule, and I have it at a 2. It's just, I'm really not, again, here we are. I didn't get any of the features done for Alpha 3, and now I'm making Alpha 4, which is what Alpha 3 is supposed to be, right? So I hope this is the last time this happens with that, but it's just like, I feel like I'm not getting the traction I want to have for my, for the schedule to get to the development, because that's the important part. That's kind of the bottleneck. And I also should send out a shout out to Lily Uni for your help for helping out with the Twitter account, because that's been helping out as well, getting some traction around that to help out with the Twitter. And, it's just huge. And we're going to get into it with marketing here up in one of these next slides here. Okay, moving on to technology, feeling really good about this. This is like, talking about all of the problems that have been eradicated now. I only have that one, and that is really a minor one. My environment feels so much better now, and it is a 9, and that it might almost be a 10, but that might be pushing because there are some issues with it. For one, when I press a key, it still takes 30 seconds for it to die down, and the CPU fluctuates between 25 to 35% for 30 seconds for each and every key press that I have. So there's that. And that should probably put me down to 8.5, but I'm so glad that this one major problem with the RAM, with the memory utilization is fixed, and that puts it up to 9. Marketing still continues to be a challenge, and just getting back to Liliuni, thank you again for your assistance with helping out with Twitter. I hope this continues, and I'm hoping ultimately we can find someone for each of our networks, Facebook and Instagram, which continue to baffle me the same way that Twitter does. Not as much though, because I spend all my time on Twitter, and it's just like, if I spend enough time on one thing, I have to understand it at least a little bit. If I can understand at least 1% of it, then maybe I can apply that to something else. But if I can just get 1%, then that would be a win. And I still don't feel like I'm even at 1% with Twitter, even despite all the time that I spend on there. Support continues to be a highlight. I had that issue yesterday. I created 3 accounts, and it's like, that really worries me. I'm able to manage it really well, really handle it really well, but that should never happen, right? We should not have a system where that happens. And if it's happening with very little traffic right now with our onboarding adoption with our users, when we start getting a lot of traffic, that is going to happen a lot. So we really want to stay away from that. But when it does occur, I'm feeling really good about that. Ooh, okay, made it to the last slide. I almost didn't make this film today. Speaking of scheduling and getting bombarded, I basically spent the entire day up until 3 o'clock today. I'm supposed to be filming this at 10, 10 in the morning, and here it is 3 o'clock starting to film. Just thing after thing. I deployed it. I deployed the code, and there are all these little things that kept popping up. I cannot believe I didn't find any of this sooner. And here we are, and I'm coding the entire day, not doing anything, and it's just, I'm glad it's over. I got everything to a point where hopefully it is a lot better and it won't break too bad in production. So anyways, I just want to thank everyone out there for all your help and all your support and all your purchases. And, it's just really great right now with everyone in the community. I feel like it's growing just a little bit. We're sort of the tortoise. We're the tortoise here, and we're not the hare. We're just kind of slowly moving around and getting to our destination step by step. And I'm okay with that, right? We're not firing all our bullets just yet, right? We're really just taking our time, and we're getting ourselves in the spot to where we can do that. So thank you to everyone out there. I really appreciate all of your kind support and your well wishes. I'm getting a lot of that, and also your purchases and a lot of the network gratuities that are out there as well. I just really appreciated that. And with that, I'd like to thank you once more. And until next time, stay bright out there and stay safe. Goodbye.